Aquarius, this is a very tricky period for you. Personally, especially, because personally it will be the most difficult to see. But what will not be difficult to see, and in fact, I would recommend everybody watch this video cross-watching Aquarius energy, because Aquarius energy is where everything's really targeted right now. These clashes in the sky are happening between your 11th and 12th house. And I know people will argue with me because they're like, no, Aquarius houses are this sign specifically. And I'm like, no, that's not the way that works. The zodiac wheel and the house wheel turn at consistent paces, but different paces. So they're not always perfectly aligned with each other, as if we were looking at a perfect example of a perfect chart. And where the planets fall in what sign, and just like you can look at your natal chart. You can look at your natal chart and see that, you know, you're like, what do you mean that this is in my second house? But I thought that this was in my, how is it in this sign? This is my sign is in this house, but the planets in this house are not in the sign that my house is in, because the sign that your house is in starts what zodiac sign is the cusp of that house, 0 degrees of that house, of the cusp of that house. What sign is it in? But planets can still fall within that house and be in a different zodiac sign, because the zodiac sign wheel and the house wheel are not perfectly aligned. So just know that all the planets for you right now are being the clusterfuck planets surrounding your moon. As we open the week, even though the moon will change. But as we open the week, surrounding your moon and definitely surrounding your sun right now is 100% clusterfucked in 11th and 12th houses for you. And then we have the basically agitators coming in the 2nd and 3rd houses, and the North Node in your 5th house right now. That's very significant because the North Node is in Gemini, and 5th house is your soul purpose, your sun energy. What's your soul purpose on earth? But it's challenged. It's saying that it's going to be a challenge to remember that, because there's so much temptation to basically use this opportunity and use what you know to your advantage to get ahead, manipulate, or control. This is also not necessarily just a statement of what's going on inside of you, but also what you can see in others. And so that's what I'll discuss, because it's always easier for people to take in energy when they think it's about somebody else. So let's go about right now discussing how this could really impact your life. Seeing and really understanding somebody's subverted desires to take advantage of the energy and push things in their direction, especially when it comes to crowd mentality. So crowd mentality right now is very much something that's at certain people's fingertips. And you could be experiencing this a lot in your personal life, where you are feeling that they are misusing, or you are seeing that they are misusing this energy. And I said this last week, that Aquarians will have a very unique look into the behaviors of the crowd, the community, our nation right now. They'll have a very unique look into it to see that, yes, Aquarian energy, soul purpose, fifth house energy. I'm going to say 5th house just as in quotation marks, as a sort of a mentality. Your heart, Aquarian heart purpose, soul purpose is about doing what is right and curing the public ills, and philanthropy, goodness for all. Not necessarily fairness, but it's almost bigger than fairness. It's awareness and awakenedness to the connectivity and how what impacts one of us impacts all of us. That can easily be manipulated by people who realize that with the crowd awareness comes umbrella fears and umbrella emotions, crowd emotions. And to manipulate those emotions could put you in a very, very, very advanced and advanced state. It could really like win the day for you right now. This is like having access to the lottery machines. And how the numbers run. If you ever seen that movie, I think Lisa Kudrow is in it, where she can somehow manipulate the numbers to come out to the number that she wanted it to come out to. And it's almost like that. It's being able to, at least, if not control, have those insights into things that will definitely advance you and push you ahead. And Aquarius energy is really like the sole purpose right now is to shout that out. And to expose that. And to say, hey, wait a minute. I see exactly what you're doing. Remember, North Node, Mercury, I believe right now is in your 12th house of mystery, right? Of mystery, of things that aren't clear, things that maybe are even like just psychically known and understood, the power of the psyche, of the undefined. This North Node right now in Gemini is in like it's like directly aimed at Mercury there. It's almost like a connection between the two of what are we gonna say, what are we gonna see, what are we gonna realize and then speak out about. And for Aquarius, this is definitely speaking out about those subverted motivations. Yeah, like what is the real motivation behind what you're doing? I know you're saying you're doing it for the best. You say you're doing it for everybody. You say you want this for the good of everybody, but is that really why you want it? Or is it just because it puts you in a position that's much more comfortable for you? Either A, because it's more emotionally comfortable for you to accept, and an Aquarius energy that's on point and awakened will easily be able to call somebody out and say, hey, get your emotions in check, because you're doing this as an emotional reaction. You're not doing this because it actually makes sense or because it's good for anybody but you and your little emotions that want to feel safe and protected right now. But guess what? You're not the priority. No individual is the priority right now. The priority is what is really good for all of us. Now, what is really good for all of us is hard to stay focused on, because there's a lot of different opinions and a lot of different like revolving opinions or evolving opinions or people talking at the same time. And it's a sense of stepping back and looking and saying, wow, everybody's talking at the same time. That is actually not what's good for all of us. And that's the power of really well used and well guided, spiritually, great spirit aligned Aquarius energy, is saying we all get the chance to speak at once, but how is that helping us? Sort of as an example so that you realize it. Like say if Aquarius was stepping back and listening to all the stuff coming out and social media, what a really evolved Aquarius would realize is, wow, we're all talking at each other and nobody's listening. They're not going to pick out one opinion or two opinions that they agree with and say, yes, that's what's better for all of us. They're going to be like, wow, everybody's spewing their opinions, but nobody's listening to each other. They're going to constantly see the power of the Aquarian energy is to be able to really clearly, without emotion, without motivation, see what we all really need right now, as opposed to getting your personal motivations involved or seeing how people are getting their personal motivations involved and kind of using it in a sneaky way to say, no, this is what most people want. Let's do the numbers. Let's take the numbers. This is what most people are saying. So that must be what's good for most of us. No, because this isn't about a poll. Being spiritually awakened and thinking outside of the box is not about quantitative data. And this is where the true spirituality of you guys comes through. In the spirituality of intellect, the spirituality of being awakened. It's not something that's void of spirituality. It's actually filled with spirituality as long as you keep it that way. Because the intellect can be very misused. And we've seen a lot of data being misused for people's motivations, right? Whereas, so what I'm saying to you, at least in your personal life this week, you're going to be calling a lot of people out on their shit. this is really what you're primed to do right now. And really primed to be able to take yourself out of it, what you want to hear out of it, and be like, yeah, it's really not about any of that, is it? To be the statement or the voice of God itself right now. And God is the total, right? The everything. It's not power. And that's what we mistake it in. And that's why how both religion and science has been misused and manipulated so often, is that sense of, I want to be the voice of God. Because thinking God is just power. And God is not power. God is connectivity and love. God is the unconditional connection. Right? Reminding people of that is very difficult when people are afraid. And so you will very much, a big theme in your life right now, be picking out a lot of fear in people. You'll smell it like a rotten egg in the garbage can, or old deteriorating, decaying meat in your garbage can. If you've ever thrown away one of those like styrofoam trays after cooking chicken, you'll know, like, if you don't get that garbage right out right away, you'll be like, because that smell, it's almost like that smell. You'll be able to pick up on it real quick right now. And so in your personal life, it'll become very clear to you that people that you know are not motivated by what's good for everybody. They're motivated by what's good for themselves. And you'll be very, very good at picking this out right now. Let me share with you the cards, the foundation of the cards. And I you know what, I'm going to start with this because it kind of shook me. Soul Tree. And this really is about the energy of connectivity. But this is what shook me, because it comes, this is from the Spirit, the Secret Language of Light deck. And I usually don't, read to you guys here, but I need to read to you guys here, because listen to what it says. Okay. The same life force that animates you also flows through trees. Look, you are becoming more connected to nature, right? And you can take that as your nature, as an Aquarius, that just feeling that higher purpose right now, but also nature itself to be a physical, tangible aid, because nature is always connected to the great, because it doesn't have the sense of ego to get in the way of that connection. But we have consciousness, we have ego, so it's a challenge for us to stay connected. It's got to be a conscious choice for us to stay connected. But nature can help you do that. So that's what it's saying, is like, if you're sick of all this craziness, get yourself out into nature right now. Because it will clarify. You will help to clarify. It'll help to give you that perspective that you need to be like, okay, no. Now I see what's going on. Because nature will always tell you the truth. And it will always help you get back to your true nature. You understand? But this is what I really wanted to read you. The same life force that animates you also flows through trees. We are all in this together. Now tell me how, especially if you're watching this in America, that you haven't heard that at least a half a dozen times, even just today since you woke up. All through 2020. That has been the mantra. We are all in this together. But it has been a mantra of control, crowd control. And that is not what it's supposed to be a mantra of. This book was published in 2019, before any of this started happening. So this message is very, very clear. It's telling me very, very clearly about your purpose right now in this big picture. Reminding us these words that have been said over and over and over to us. Why have they been said over and over to us, over and over again? To really question why and what it's actually doing, as opposed to, is it doing what it's supposed to be doing? Right? Number one. Number two, and I would be very surprised if this wasn't collectively to some degree on all of your minds right now. Moon and snake, these are hidden desires. These are emotionally what you desire, emotional desires, the temptation of emotional desire. the hidden desires that could be coming out from your own 12th house, or because what's being filled with your 12th house right now, going into your first house, but 12th house especially is filled with right now, is all the big planets, the karmic planets, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn. Mercury is in there, and so is the sun, and they're clusterfucked. They're pushing on the sun. So it's all working through that divine purpose. And what is the divine purpose for you always? To show people where their real desires are coming from. And to call them out on it if you have to. That's why I'm coming up with this. Now, we have 2 more cards here that also blew me away, which tells me this is huge for you guys right now. Step out of your comfort zone, North Node, and don't let pride get in your way. Bam! Okay? Your North Node, I told you, is in the 5th house. So it's not about pride, it's about bigger purpose. And that's what you'll find the biggest challenge this week. That's what's telling me, is that your pride, your sense of pride, could be your biggest challenge this week. Being able to step outside of yourself and see yourself objectively is one of the most difficult things anybody can do. To see, what are my motivations right now? What am I doing this for? And am I really connected to spirit as I do this? As I speak this? As I call other people out on their shit? Am I a part of the problem? This is the red flag of your mentality right now, and I cannot express to you how much that continues to reinforce how important you are right now and your abilities are right now. Hold on, I have to pull my nose. Thank you. You can see I'm all red. Because the one thing that can pull you down right now is the crowd, is getting caught up in this wave and being drowned by it. And so it's so important for you right now to protect yourself and be protected. Be protected from the water around you, from the emotion around you. Not necessarily, or I mean, I don't know if you guys have been feeling like, I want to be emotionally closed right now. I want a 1717 I just saw on my timestamp. I want to be emotionally protected, but it's not about emotional defensiveness. It's about emotional objectivity. Those are different things, because remember, defensiveness is an emotional reaction. So it's different, right? It's about believing Spirit's got me protected. I can jump into these waters and see what's going on, but also be remaining objective, so that what I want is not a part of how I'm seeing the situation. So it's really calling for, and I know how difficult it is. It's very difficult. This is a, if it wasn't so important, it wouldn't be such a challenge. It's like directly proportional. This is a sense of knowing every step that you take is making the world a better place or bringing it closer to war and conflict. So it's about literally, it's almost like, for me, it was like preparing for battle. But the primary battle for you right now is inside yourself. Because once you win that battle, and only when you win that battle, is when you will actually be able to see very clearly the motivations and what's going on outside of you. And these are the cards that are coming out. This tells me there's something about the written word, your inner knowing, inner truth, communicating it, because goose is also sort of like the patron animal totem of writing. So there's just a sense of telling the truth in writing, or writing the truth, saying the truth, communicating the truth, communicating your inner knowing, and being really transparent about it all. This is the kicker. Eagle. So that's all, that's bottom line, is this is all tied into spirit itself. The great spirit itself, the great purpose itself, the great knowing. And I tell you, this will really, really expose, especially for you guys right now, who is doing the right thing and who is doing the wrong thing. And if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, because it will call you out on your shit even quicker. And so if you have felt recently like People have been more critical of you, more judgmental towards you, like more on you or eyeballing you. It's really a subtle reminder of how important your mentality is right now. Your seeing and your knowing and your objectivity. It's also a sense of, if anybody's going to call out people on their shit, it's going to be an Aquarius. It's going to be this Aquarius energy to really objectively pull back and say, you're not looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at a microscopic part of the big picture and you're blowing it up. You're blowing it up so everybody sees it, but that doesn't make it the big picture. It just makes it a magnified picture. It's like taking this much of a picture and blowing up 100 times. Doesn't make it the big picture. It just makes it a big picture because it's a big picture. See, play on words. And it's the Aquarius energy that's be able to step back and be like, I like see how people are playing on words. Oh, the big picture. Yeah, because you just rolled out a 20-foot by 20-foot picture, but that doesn't make it the big picture. It just makes it a big picture. Stop fucking with people. And you're the one that's going to be able to see that. It's the Aquarius energy that's really intuitively coming from the heart, being able to show that, trusting the intuition right now. The intuition is everything right now. It's the 12th house. 12th house is ruled by psyche and intuition. Let's get into the animal totem messages. Ooh, if you have not yet subscribed yet, Aquarius, please do hit that button, subscribe, and if you really like this video, like the video, and then share it on your social media platforms, because that helps the channel a lot. Helps get the word out. Ring that bell and you'll get notified. I upload between 12 and 14 videos a week. Aquarius specific messages come out every single Wednesday, along with Capricorn and Pisces. And of course, there's always an extended, and that's where we dig into the particulars and the specifics of, what are the major pain points and pressure points right now. That link is right below this video in the description box. If you're watching this on your phone, you probably have to click that little downward triangle to unfold the menu. But if you're watching this on your desktop, your computer, you can see it right underneath the video. If you're watching this on a big screen, how cool is that we can do that? You'll probably definitely then have to go to your laptop or your phone to click the link, because I don't think there's access to the description box when you're watching it on like through Roku or something. Just an FYI. I also give a free reading over on Vimeo, which you can subscribe to Vimeo too. You can subscribe directly to Vimeo, and then you'll get access to the extended readings about a day before they come out over here. Or you'll also get access to the weekly astrological forecast that I do, which is totally free. And I publish that on Vimeo, but I also publish it partially on Instagram. Also interesting, on Instagram, I do live feeds Monday through Friday, live general readings, so I can interact with people. And you're welcome to join me, Born_without_boundaries over on Instagram. And then, of course, thank you so much for subscribing and helping the channel. Let's get into your animal totem. Now, animal totem will be insights into the messages that you'll be getting that are really going to come through to you this week through spirit. You might be seeing these animals a lot. You might be getting these mentality a lot, like just feeling these feelings a lot. This would be a way that spirit is directly communicating with you. So let's see. We have pride. When it comes out in reverse, it's all about either something has diminished you, emptied you, or pride. So pride is going to be a big challenge right now for you. Getting your own sense of pride and ego out of the way. Ego is the understanding of where I end and where somebody else begins. So it's like not letting it flow into the crowd and also not blocking yourself off too much. And that's why it's so difficult to control and maintain a healthy ego. But this is ego out of control. So a big part of your life right now will be out of control ego. And especially coming from leadership. Especially coming from leadership, because that's also what Leo recognizes. So it will be a big challenge for you this week, internally, but also externally. You seeing it. And then, Bat Spirit, a rebirth is assured. Change. A change that has to happen and has to occur. And almost being the conduit, the conductor, or the announcer of that change. Also, things are going to come out of left field. Hold on. Things are going to come out of the dark. You'll start to see that the things in the dark are waking up and they're going to start to move around, and you're going to be very in tune with it. So get your sonar out, like bats have sonars on. Don't try to use your eyes. This is about using your sonar, your intuition that can see in the dark, which is that 12th house energy of, it's all darkness in the 12th house because it's all mystery. And the only way that you can really detect things is the way sonar does, through vibration. Out of all the cards that could have come out, which one comes out? The fact that the confirmation that Spirit has tapped you. And as uncomfortable as your position may be right now, ultimately, Spirit has tapped you. And it's about taking lead. Being sort of the spiritual representation for humanity, for humans. Right? Really being connected to Spirit, talking to Spirit always, every day, having these conversations, these constant intuitive talks with Spirit every day. Very important to ground yourself right now. And then we have, unfortunately, way in the future, saying we have not learned from our past. We have completely and totally repeated it. So this is telling me that there is something subverted, egotistical in leadership that is basically forcing us back into a very unhealthy pattern. Let's get deeper into exactly what that is with tarot. For right now, I want to read your angel messages to basically love and support you. Aquarius. It's really interesting, because the cards have not been easily speaking right now. Aquarius. 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 First card that comes to my face is Faith. It's the medicine and the challenge at the same time. Do not lose faith. The storm clouds will soon clear and the sun will shine once more. So this is like the deliverer, you being the deliverer of faith and the reminder of how important it is. Clarity. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in the blue of the sky. Feel a gentle breeze flow through you. There is peace. There is clarity. A magical healing has just taken place, a gift from your guardian angel. This is a sense of continue to have faith in yourself, in your ability to do the right thing. I know there's probably a lot of questioning in your mind right now about, but is what I'm seeing real? Am I doing this for myself, or is this really what I need to do? It's scary, right? It's scary. The angels are telling you to take a breath, return to your faith, return to whatever God you believe in, work through that, and return to nature. Ground yourself, and it will actually help to clear your mind. Divine intervention. You may feel frustrated because something stalls or comes to a standstill. Progress seems painfully slow, yet this is a blessing. It is divine intervention at work. When the timing is in perfect harmony, all will come to fruition. And what it could be one of your hardest challenges is reminding yourself and others about divine intervention, about trusting the time schedule of the divine without pushing for things. Do it now. Interesting. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition. That's what do it now means. For it is guiding. It is the guiding voice of your soul. Now, if that's still too abstract for most of you, let's go over to tarot and we'll get some straightforward answers.